If I look a little tired this morning, it's because we had a lock-in retreat for our Goyans last night. We had 24 of us and 7 adults spend the night here. It's wonderful to interact with our children, especially in a way that affords us the luxury of time. And last night I was with one of the groups, the youngest boys of our Goya, and we were sitting in the altar, and we were discussing the things in the altar. And somebody asked me, why is it that we talk about holy people? That we're not holy people. Why do you say, Father, the holy gifts for the holy people of God? Which is a really insightful question coming from a 12-year-old. I wonder how many of us think about that question. The word holy means set apart. The word holy means set apart. Different. Set apart for God. And the word saint in Greek is the word agios. So we would say agios Nikolaos, Saint Nicholas. Agia Paraskevi, Saint Paraskevi. And that word agios actually translates holy, meaning holy Nicholas, holy Paraskevi. Or in a different way, set apart Nicholas, set apart Paraskevi. These are people that were set apart and they distinguish themselves from other people because of the way they live their life for God. So then, as I try to put it in practical terms, the way that 12-year-olds will understand, and ask them how many of them play basketball. And most of them play basketball. And some of them play basketball on a team. And I ask them, when you're not with the team, do you ever practice free throw shooting? And they say yes, they practice on their own all the time. And I said, why do you practice free throw shooting? They said, because I want to become better at that. In fact, I want to become perfect at that. And I said, now no one is ever going to be perfect. No one's going to make 100% of their free throws. But the people who practice are going to make a lot of free throws. They're going to make a high percentage of that. And even the star NBA basketball players, they practice shooting free throws because they want to get more perfect at what they're doing. And the saints of the church, people who have an understanding of God, people who have a good command of the Bible, a good command of prayer, a good command of serving other people, they're still trying to get better. They're still trying to get more perfect at their craft, the same way that a basketball player is trying to get more perfect at his craft or her craft. We talked about when you play on a team, when you're not with a team, you still do some practicing. And that when you're practicing on your own, you never miss the team practice. And they kind of go hand in hand. And I said that the same thing, the same principle works with our worship of God. There is team worship, which we're doing today. The whole team comes today. I'm so glad to see so many people on the team here today. To practice our faith, to talk about Christ, to perfect what we know in order to perfect what we do. But when we're away from the team, there's no team meeting tomorrow. There's no team gathering tomorrow. And like the basketball player who says, I don't have a team practice today, but I'm going to go in my backyard by myself and I'm going to shoot some baskets, we're supposed to practice when we're alone. We're supposed to practice when we're alone, when the team doesn't meet. The team, you may not be with the team until next Sunday, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't offer a prayer between now and next Sunday. Which goes to the gospel lesson of Jesus sending the disciples in a boat away and going up by himself on the mountain to pray. Even Jesus was perfect, but he spent time praying so that he could be sharp for the team. So that when he was with the disciples, and when he was with the multitudes, and when he was with the sick people, he had the wisdom and insight and strength to minister to them. Even the Son of God took time alone to practice and to pray. So in our personal, private life, we're supposed to take time to practice what it is we believe. And then we're supposed to come when the team gathers on Sundays and other days, to come with the team and practice as a team so that we can go out and we can do the work of God together. Again, in terms that they would understand last night, I said that the priest of the parish is kind of like the coach of the team. So when you get together for a practice, the coach decides what drills to do, and then the team does the drills. So the coach says, now we're going to lift weights, and the team lifts weights. The coach says, now we're going to run. The team runs. Coach says, now we're going to work on agility. The team works on agility. And so in the church, the priest says, now we're going to pray for peace in the world. The people say, Lord, have mercy. We're going to pray for peace in the world. And then the priest says, now we're going to pray for good weather. People say we're going to pray for good weather. That's the role that you play on the team. The coach doesn't run the drills. He doesn't actually participate in them. He just guides the team to prepare itself. And the priest is guiding the team to prepare ourselves for everlasting life and offering prompts in this liturgy, drills for us, for you to follow so that you can perfect yourself. Trying to make this gospel lesson come alive for us, we hear about Peter walking on the water and Jesus saying, come out and walk on the water. Maybe that's kind of hard to comprehend. So let's say in the church here, on either side of the aisle, we put a bunch of crocodiles. And they weren't in the middle aisle, and God was up in the front and said, run up the aisle. Don't worry about the crocodiles. You'll get up here safely. But you can't look at the crocodiles. You have to only look at me. Don't look at how close they are. Don't look at them snapping. Just walk up the aisle and you're going to be fine. How many of us would have faith to walk up the aisle and not look at the snapping crocodiles? Or would we say, let me see how close they are? I mean, real faith is to go to God no matter what is there. Now again, it is unlikely that you will ever be in a position to run up the aisle to Jesus with snapping crocodiles. It is unlikely that you're ever going to be on a boat and Jesus is going to compel you, come and walk on the water. Those things are unlikely to happen in your life. What is likely to happen, and is happening in our life, is Christ standing here and saying, come over here, and you're over there in the aisle, and you got all these people, like snapping crocodiles, belittling Christianity. Don't believe. It's all fake. You guys are doing things contrary to the rest of the world. So they're not snapping at us like they're going to eat us, but they're snapping at us because they're putting us down. And so Jesus is saying, don't listen to the noise. Keep your eye on the prize. And the snapping crocodile may be the noise of media, it may be the noise of your friends, it may be the noise of an illness. Maybe nobody's bothering you, but you're being bothered inside because you have cancer, you have heart disease, you have something else you're dealing with. Christ is saying, focus on me. Walk up the aisle to me. And don't pay attention to the noise, whether it's coming from inside of you or outside of you. And that's what faith is, to be able to walk up the aisle and keep our focus on God. Peter was doing great. He was doing the improbable. Peter had faith to get out of that boat. People are quick to smash Peter. Oh, he didn't look at God and he fell down. That's not fair, actually. Peter had the courage and the faith to get out of the boat and start walking. There are lots of people who don't even have that. So Peter was doing a good job for a while, and then he got distracted. So again, before we smash St. Peter, we have to give him credit for being on the boat and for being willing to get out of the boat. And he just got a little distracted. And the other thing that St. Peter did when he still had faith. He had faith that God could get him out of sinking water. Peter shows remarkable faith. Many times we have doubts, we start sinking, and then we stop talking to God. We still look at the distractions. So if you're sinking, don't lose faith. Reach out to God. Reach out to the church. Every time you get the messenger, it has my number on it, Father John's number on it, Alex's number on it. In a week, it's going to have James, our new pastoral assistant's number. If you pick up the phone and call. That's one of the things that we're here for. Not to save your soul, but to save you from listening to the noise and being overwhelmed. Help and encourage. But we can help save your ears from the noise and help get you pointed on the right track by God's grace. I hope and pray that we have a wonderful and blessed week. I'm so glad that so many people are here today. Please know that I am monitoring the situation going on in the world. We're in communication with the metropolis. I sent you a letter last night. Whatever we're doing today may not be what we're doing next week. That is all fluid. But what I ask people to do and continue to ask people to do is just lead with love, lead with kindness. Every week it goes by, someone sends me, multiple people send me letters, you're doing this wrong, you're doing this right, if you do this, I'm going to do this. And like, none of that's really helpful. Lead with kindness, lead with love. No one's got a textbook for how to lead in a pandemic. Lead with kindness and lead with love. And also, so that I don't have to say it 100 times on the way out, thank you for your prayers this week. I did have a good trip to California, as good as you can have under the circumstances. Thank you for your calls, your messages, your texts. Much appreciated. And also, because I try to lead by example, I don't always do great with that, but I was able to go see my spiritual father while I was in California and go to confession. I encourage you always to do that, and I'm doing the thing I'm encouraging you to do. So I was able to take advantage of that also while I was in California. So I'm back. It's going to take me a little while to dig out of the emails that came in this week. I would like to respond to all of them. It may take a little while. But again, thank you for your prayers, and now thank you for your patience. God bless you.